So this is the first step towards taking control and feeling in control of figuring out how we can finally stop the cycle of hormonal acne. If you've been dealing with hormonal acne or you have cystic breakouts every single month, then it's time that we start talking about your period. The first thing I want you to do is to really start understanding what's going on with your period. So I want you to download an app, and I want you to really start tracking. Now, there's a ton of apps out there. One of my favorites is called Flow. There's a couple others. I'm gonna list them in the comments below. And if you have a favorite, list yours in the comments below as well. And I want you to start really understanding what's going on. And I mean, if you're not with it, if you don't want to use an app, you can always just write it down in a simple notebook. But I really like the apps because they're, it's easy to use. And start tracking symptoms and when you start to break out. If you're noticing more inflammation in the skin, do you notice more clogged pores throughout the month? And you're going to start seeing that there might be a correlation when this is happening. And the more information that you gather, the better you can use it to counteract those symptoms. The second thing I want you to do is to then become familiar with the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle. So you have menstruation, and that's the first week of your period. And then, the first week of the month. And then you have the follicular phase. That's the second phase. The third phase is ovulation, and the fourth phase is the luteal phase. Now, the follicular phase, right after your period, is that phase when it's really wonderful. Your skin is starting to really glow, estrogen is rising, things are getting, glowy, and you're getting your skin back. And that's really the best time to try new products. And that's the best time to start using active ingredients in your skincare, just so that you can maintain that glow. Now, as you're getting into ovulation and your hormones are continually shifting as they do throughout the month, then you're going to start wanting to think about counteracting some potential side effects that's going to happen later in your period. As you move on to your luteal phase, this is when things really kind of change. So the luteal phase is when progesterone increases, the skin starts to swell, it becomes a little bit more inflamed, testosterone is also rising, increasing oil production. And this combo of the swollen kind of swelling of the skin and the pores with oil production really kind of creates that terrible combination where any dirt and debris in the pores gets trapped and can cause breakouts. So this is kind of one of the ways that you might start seeing why you're getting these breakouts the week before your period, and this is during the luteal phase. So the third thing I want you to do is now start implementing some of those practices depending on the phase that you're in. And so as I had mentioned, the second week of your period, go get a facial, help those pores clear out, start exfoliating a little bit more using alpha hydroxy acids like glycolic or lactic to really keep pores clear. And moving into the third week of your period, start to use clay masks and continue to exfoliate and keep the pores clear to really help counteract some of that inflammation and oil that's going to be producing throughout that phase. The fourth thing that you can do is also just looking at internal balance. And so when internal balance is achieved, you'll notice that breakouts throughout the month are actually significantly reduced. And so there are a couple resources. You can talk to a naturopath or a natural practitioner who can help figure out what's going on internally and recommend supplements and some options to help if it's an internal imbalance. For your reading pleasure, I highly recommend Women Code, and that's by Alisa Vitti. And this book is really fascinating because it really goes through all of the phases of your menstrual cycle. And while she doesn't talk specifically about skincare, she talks about food that you could be eating throughout the month to really support your body as the hormonal changes happen, about activity levels and mood, and really it's called syncing, so cycle syncing, and really working with your body to really feel in control of what's happening throughout the month. Another great resource is Dr. Jolene Brighten, and she is a wonderful resource for talking about hormonal imbalances, birth control pills, things that have been caused because you've been on the birth control pill. There's a few other resources I will put them in the comments below, and if you have any suggestions, please comment below as well. And if there's anything that has worked for you, please comment below and help us all out, because we're all figuring this out together. We're all in this together, trying to figure out how we can get our bodies to be the healthiest they can be. And so this is the first step towards taking control and feeling in control of figuring out how we can finally stop the cycle of hormonal acne. If you like this video, please click the like button, subscribe for new content that's always coming out, and share with your friends if this really helped you. And always check me out on Instagram. We can continue the conversation there. And thanks so much for watching.